G'day everybody, welcome back to another edition of Kev's Workshop. In this video you can now see my finished rail car. Okay, there's still a few minor things to be done to it, but apart from that, visually it's finished. And up here is the tail car, or sorry, was originally the power car. In this case both of these are powered, so this short video, well okay, could be a lengthy video no doubt. This video actually is more so about the two rail cars, but I will add on no doubt a few other little bits and pieces for you. During the part of, well actually should I say, around August, September 2013, correction, geez that's how half asleep I am. Geez, 2022, I got my mum to make up a little driver's uniform for Nico Les, and now he can't be called Nico Les because he's probably got knickers on. However, up here you can see I've got the clearance lights and tail lights with the destination board. The idea of North Pole, it's December 2022, date, actually Christmas Eve to be more exact, at the time I'm doing the video. So you can sort of see, at least on there, the headlights and all that are. So as you can see, this is the front end of my rail car. Up here is the tail end, so this will be the back half that'll connect onto the other original. And you can see here where today I've finally got the safety chains fitted. Yes, it needs a bit of cleaning up, but that, once I get the bogies built, can connect onto the back of this one here. As we come up into here, this is at least a year behind schedule. You can see the seat supports are in. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. The sample panel I had on this rail car is now sitting on the other rail car unit. And yeah, up the driver's compartment end, it still hasn't been completed, despite my efforts. And today I've also got the front safety chains in. So with the coupling extended out, that's ready for connecting onto another train, or nose to nose for this one. So by comparison, you've got the front end of the power car, which is also going to be identical in some sense to what was to be originally the tail car. So the tail car has become a power car. So all up, once these pair have been finished and completed, it'll be a case of that there'll be two power cars. So every axle driven, there's two 450 watt electric motors per rail car and two batteries per rail car, which will drive the motors. From up here you can see the seat arrangement. At this point I've still got to nail down the vinyl, and I've got this towel sitting over there for now just to protect the vinyl. Up the front here you can see where my control box is. So in walking up through here, I've really got to get stuck into getting this sorted out. There's a few more add-ons that go in eventually, but what you can see is the green dot is my lighting controls. The switch up here to the left is for the destination board, as you can see. Horn and power, well, that's all going to be altered slightly. The power button is going to be, well, this one will stay disconnected for the purpose. There is another hidden switch. Speed control will plug into the DIN plug. That 5-pin or 6-pin DIN will be coming out, 8-pin DINs going in, because the replacement speed control I got, you see part of it sticking out down here, has multiple wires to it. So the speed control has a trim pipe which clicks on and off for power and then varies the speed. And over here the forward reverse switch has the 3 wires. So all up, 8 wires go into the back of this unit. So we can get this camera in down here to show you. It's not easy, but yeah, so you see the right hand bracket that I had to make up. There is a left hand bracket, so at least with that, all the back of there, that blue container with all the holes in it is the actual speed control unit. Underneath the seat I will have to change camera positions no doubt. So how clever I am holding my camera and trying to unlock my doorways at the same time, which is not very clever at all. Now I'm going to fight with a pair of locks. Oh, got it. To show you what I'm doing. Right, drop sides down. And if I uncover the battery compartment area, that's not easy at the moment. This battery up front is a standard 12 volt battery, 88 amp hours I think it is, but that's just for the LED lighting, which doesn't take a great deal anyhow. The two batteries that power my rail car, if I move the vinyl covering out the way, 125 amp hours. Expensive batteries, these ones. Deep cycle, there's two of them wired together. They form 24 volts. So these two are what power the two drive motors. I won't go any detail for you just yet on this. Needless to say that for the purpose of this video, I'm trying to keep things a bit shorter than my normal. So basically with this, if I step back a bit further without tripping over myself, you can see the drop side is in the down position. So at least with that, the locking mechanism, which is encased or hidden inside that length tube, there's the rear locking unit sticking out. If I can get this on the angle, you can get an idea on how it works. Let me just change camera positions. I know the vinyl work's sort of been a bit heat affected, so that'll get fixed up very soon. And see how the door's slightly misaligned? It's now locked in. The other side is exactly the same. There's a locking unit from inside. And if we pan through, there's a front locking unit. So it's all concealed, hidden away. As long as you know where they are, well in this case, as long as I know where they are, we can open and close the side doors. Now, at least with this arrangement, you see I'll drive up front here and everyone rides behind me at the back. As I say, this one will be exactly the same arrangement in that I'll be driving up front of that one, everyone will be riding behind me on it. There will be a jumper lead going between the back end of this to the back end of the one that we're just looking at. That means one control will be powering all four motors. So, yes, so I haven't got the side balances on this yet. Should have. The holes are pre-drilled now, waiting for me to get what I need to open those up. The wiring will be concealed underneath there, and as we come through to the front end of this rail car, see the wiring will come through. Now that's all done the same as this rail car, and the wiring will come down through here. If I can get this in place, yep, you see there. So from those holes there, it'll run through underneath to these holes here, which will get opened up, and then that'll go up to the seat plank, which isn't in this shot, and speed control will be up the top here on the plank. Now I'm not going to worry too much at this point of time. Yes, the back end looks a little untidy. There is an edge covering to go over that yet. So on this back area, you notice there is no door illustrated, purely because just like on the bendy buses, it has a full width, full height vestibule. That'll be put on the same as what if I word it correctly. What they are doing on full size I want to do on these pair of rail cars, if that helps you understand things better. So because of Christmas, us having our house decked out with Christmas lights, you will notice different things here. These two will be a subject of another YouTube video. People may remember my crossing that's on the right hand side with the arm half hanging down, and the one I've got on the left hand side I've got December 2021. They both do the same sort of thing, and hopefully you'll get some enjoyment on a future video watching these two set each other off. However, as we come through, you can see my track is multi-gauge, and as I may have mentioned once before on a previous video, if I come down here, these two rails are 7 1/4, they're 5 inch and 3 1/2 inch drops into there. Funny thing is, the gauge between these two, well, if that was 45mm it'll suit G gauge nicely, but it's more like closer to 48, I think it is, 49mm, close on 50mm, and the G scale will still run on, but it does not really care much for these track joints. However, as you see, you've got a 6 metre long curved tunnel, and when the Christmas lights are on, we've got 2 sets of holly Christmas lights instead of stars up the middle, and the easterly winds that we get through summer are very destructive. When you're getting up to something like 60, 80 odd kilometres an hour, it can be very destructive as far as Christmas lights are concerned. So that signal goes to the end of my train line, and that's just a brief view of our Christmas decorations we've got within the tunnel area, and some of my signs I've been given, and the whole stack of Christmas lights you can't necessarily see up in the shade cloth area. However, I will eventually get my train crossing completed, and yes, there's a full-size crossing sign that was given to me. Up here you can see, apart from the messy backyard, there's my crossing. It's only at the back of it at the moment, but there will be an actual crossing arm on there, as well as the lights. Train station area with Chrissy decos on it. So yes, this is a nice delight for everybody coming through here for the Christmas train rides. And as you can see, I haven't gone all the way yet, but it will be 47 metres of multi-gauge track once I've got it all done. So hopefully soon I might be able to buy some more steel and do the multi-gauge tracks all the way through to the end. Well, if you want to get an idea what it's like to drive this, I'll have a ride in it. I'll do a camera video shot from in the driver's view. Bear with me. Okay, sitting in the driver's area, the driver's seat area, pardon me, these are my destination cards. Pardon me again. They were printed up on the home computer and then laminated to suit. So one for each rail car, front and rear. And then if I want to change my cards at any given time, all I can do is put in what I want. Currently there's the other half of what I've got in. So at any time I want to change my destinations, I can quite easily change my destinations as required. Okay, we're talking about changing destination cards. Now I've changed camera position. I've got to get the proper hinge made up for this lid. I'm looking at changing the metal lid over to a fiberglass lid. So you can see the destination card is actually sitting in there, and there's the interior cab details. There's nickel S. Well, now he's got knickers on. But again, all that dashboard was printed up on the home computer. It's a bit of a compilation of different gauges from different websites, actual train drivers' controls from certain Perth rail cars, A series and B series. So at least with that is just part of it. And if we come up over here, you might get a better view of that. There we go. It's not really the best, perhaps. Destination card, and of course the LED light up display board. This comes from JK Electronics. That's how I've hooked it up, so I can easily remove it should I need to. Something I was taught years ago was if you're going to build anything in any scale, whether it be 2-inch gauge or even G scale, all the way up to 7 1/4. You want to make sure that everything is interchangeable, repairable, accessible, replaceable, etc, etc. So it makes life a whole lot easier. Now, for me, I'm just going to switch master on. Okay, let's make sure I get this, which is temporarily hanging up. A little rocker switch into reverse. One speed control, which is temporarily not where it's supposed to be. Cooling fan comes in. Now that's just sitting there waiting to go. And turn of the dial. This particular control is particular. Yep, okay. Put the rocker switch into forward. Back up. There you go. It'll be right when I've got it in the handhold control. Full throttle. As she rockets along, and yes, there's nothing but crap at the end of my line, thanks to a couple of flame trees. But yeah, we'll get that sorted out. Once we get rid of these flame trees, we'll put covering over it. Hello. Just reset the control. That's going to be a pain in the bum. There we go. So this particular control I've got is a bit particular in its own. Okay. The other part of my video is the New South Wales Caves Express from Sydney to Lithgow and return. There's a bit of information on this picture which I've got off the internet. It shows around 1935, before the New South Wales C35 had been rebuilt. When they rebuilt these locos, they actually improved their appearances, a few other minor details. And one of the surviving carriages is preserved up in the Blue Mountains at the Valley Heights Railway Depot, which is owned or in the caretakership of the New South Wales Rail Transport Museum. And despite this cooling fan blowing things, that's the R car, or the R series carriages. You see the window lines are double windowed all the way through to single, and the vestibules on the end. If I move this out of the way of the breeze. Now these are side corridor type. So you come down the corridor one side, cross over the middle, go to the opposite side of the carriage, and you come down the opposite side corridor. Now these corridor cars, the R cars, they were one variation of what they call the Cub cars, or Cub set. I can get this without the fan blowing everything everywhere. It's not easy. Handful of bits and pieces as well. So that's the R cars as seen through the set. I do have the Really, I'll get this to go without. Yeah, there's the rest of the set. The terminal end car on the end, and it's also got the buffet carriage, which is generally in the middle. So that's the carriages that we use in the colour schemes. So if I move that off to one side, drop me pieces of paper and lunch and everything else, you can see in amongst all this the L cars or Cub set. Now there's a 3D printed by a good friend of mine. I've added all the underfloor details because they come bare bones, so there's none of this underfloor detail comes with the kit. Microtrain Civil War era bogies are as close as I could get. At the tail end of the train you've got the HFL, then there's an FL, next in the set is the buffet car, which is the RFL, then there's a BL, second BL, and in the lead we've got another HFL. Now these also originally used on the Caves Express. Oops. Trying to hold things here, the fan's blowing everything. So there's the L car in the Caves Express colours. Same carriages as that, but just in the Caves colours. As a full car train, that's the R cars by comparison. Some unknown reason this one's a 7 car set, they were generally a 6 car set only. But they did also have add-on cars too, so at least with that in mind, what I'm currently working on may get finished early 2023. The L cars in the Caves colours. I only started these about a month ago, but I've done nothing with it since the end of November. We're now nearly the end of December 2022. That's as far as I've taken them. All the rooftop details, the end details, the grab rails, they're all add-ons to the actual 3D print. The torpedo type roof vents were made using Peco track pins for end scale. And as you can see on the buffet car, when I get to it, there it is. There's a standard Peco track pin, which is done as a flattener vent. Just put a bit of wire insulation around it, and there's your flattener. If you want to make Peco track pins into torpedo vents, you just got to imagine them a bit like a diamond shape, pointy at both ends, slightly rounded in the middle. All the corridor ends I've actually put in. There will be a vestibule between them, and HO scale track pins are perfect size for buffers. You can see the 3D printed floor, it's a bit arched at the moment. I'll sort all that out and fix that up later. So that's the Caves Express set in end scale. There's some of the end detail if we get past the other bits. And to go with that, have I? Yes, I have. And what I've done, I've converted a German loco into an Australian loco. I'll drop all my other bits and pieces on the floor. There's a German Fleischmann loco, German P8, from what I'm led to believe that is. But you wouldn't believe how easy that was for me to convert many years ago. And there's a comparison between the pair of them. They were identical engines originally, and that's the rebuilt C35. I'll get the light reflection off that. Now I believe this is probably one of a handful, or maybe it's very few, C35s in end scale. I don't know if you can still get these locos. They are tender driven, so the motor is actually in the tender, driving the tender's wheels. So those loco wheels are free rolling, depending on how much tension you put on the actual back of the wheels. So, there's the train. These will be on my Kev's Workshop website, at least while I'm working on them. So January, February 2023 you probably see them. So the website's currently probably a few weeks behind detail, but certainly while I've got holidays, I've got 2 weeks holiday break over Christmas and New Year, I intend getting stuck into only getting this set complete but hopefully getting onto a few other projects. Thanks for your time and patience watching this silly video. I hope those of you rail enthusiasts out there enjoying what you're seeing. I've got the full 6-car train there waiting to complete. So yep, if you want to follow us along. Still, after 12 months, I haven't finished the HS Scale C36, nor have I even started on the New South Wales 35. So there's an idea. While we're up this way, 27.6 degrees. It was higher than that today. So yeah, there's my N-Scale C36. It will never get finished. So that there and that one there will be very much the same. So I will get onto it. And one day I might finish my 8060 class. It's been here for like 10 years or so, waiting to get past that stage. Never mind folks, it'll get done eventually. Thank you for watching, and take care, take it easy, and if you want, just keep looking through my Kev's Workshop website. Catch ya.